I have three super simple questions that you can ask ChatGPT that are going to give you a target audience of people that are going to be willing to spend money, digital product ideas that those people are going to be willing to spend money on, and content fillers that you can come back to over and over again so that you can continue to create the content that you need for your digital product business. If you don't know me yet, I'm Mary Beth Santos. I help you create and sell digital products, things like ebooks, courses, workshops, and I help you do it faster, more efficiently, with less stress than ever before with the help of ChatGPT. I'm going to jump into my own ChatGPT and show you an example of these three questions in action so that you can see exactly what I mean. So let's go do that. Okay, here we are inside of ChatGPT. I am going to use ChatGPT 4. If you are wondering if you should upgrade to 4 or not, 4 is the paid version. I think it's $20 a month. This is how I decide when I'm going to pay for something. If I can see how it will directly lead to more money in my pocket, I have no problem paying for it. With ChatGPT, I can definitely see. That being said, if you're not in a place where you can spend money on a tool like this, stick with 3.5. It's perfectly fine. It's in fact really good. ChatGPT 4 is just a little better. Actually, it's a lot better, but you still will be totally fine with 3.5. So let's get to the three questions. The first question that I'm going to ask is going to be a very big, broad question. I've decided to use the niche of gardening, which is already a very big, broad thing. And I'm going to ask one really big, broad question. Okay. This is not normally what I would tell you to do with ChatGPT, but for the sake of this exercise, it works perfectly. So let's get rid of my spelling error. What can you tell me about gardening? Okay. Now, what's going to happen is ChatGPT is going to come back with a very broad overview of gardening in general. It's going to give me a lot of different topics that I could talk about. It's going to give me what would look like an outline for a massive book on gardening. As you can see, we've already got a lot of information. It's already a little overwhelming. So we have types of gardening, vegetable gardening, flowers, container, wildlife, all sorts of different gardening. We have gardening techniques. We have tools and equipment that you might need for gardening. We have soil and composting, pest and disease control, benefits of gardening, challenges with gardening. This is great to have that challenges, sustainability and organic gardening. Okay, so I'm not even going to pay attention to this for the sake of this exercise, but I hope you can see from this how this would lead to a lot of really good content potentially for you if gardening is your niche. Whenever you have a feeling of, I don't know what to talk about, I have to make a TikTok and I don't know what to say, you can just come right back to this list and pick one, and you've got content for days. Okay, but for the sake of this exercise, this is just one big, broad question, basically to set the scene, set the table for what we're going to talk about next. So my next question is, who is interested in learning about gardening? Now, while we wait for ChatGPT to come back to us, what's going to happen next is we're going to get lists of different types of people who might be interested in gardening. Sometimes with these lists, we can put a couple of groups together and that can be a target audience. Sometimes you just need one, which is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with just picking one. And I feel that we're probably going to get a pretty decent list here, which means that we're probably going to be able to just pick one, but we will see. We'll see what ChatGPT comes up with. And then we'll walk through them and I will tell you exactly how I choose who I would potentially use as a target audience. Here we go. We've got homeowners, interesting, urban dwellers, environmentalists, educators, parents, health and wellness advocates, retirees, chefs and culinary professionals, interesting, preppers and homesteaders, researchers and students. What else you got? Oh, wow. We have a lot. Community leaders, hobbyists, travelers and cultural enthusiasts, wildlife enthusiasts, therapists and mental health professionals, crafters and DIY enthusiasts. That's a lot. How do I pick? How do we pick? How do we pick from these 16 different groups of people? Who are we going to talk to? Which one of these people are going to be interested in spending money on a digital product to learn about gardening? So I ask myself two questions to figure that out. I ask myself, who do I want to work with on a daily basis for the next 5 to 10 years or however long I want to do this business? And who is going to be willing to spend money on a digital product? Okay. Looking through this, there's some that I would immediately, and I need to answer yes to both of those questions. So as I look through this, there's groups that I would just take off the table immediately. Educators, I don't know that I would want to ask educators to spend money on a digital product. And that's probably just like that initial question of would I want to work with them for the next, and it's no offense to educators, I swear. It's just probably not the audience that I would want to work with every day on a daily basis. Parents, same thing. I swear I don't have anything against teachers or people that have little children. I have my own, I love them, but probably just not the group that I would want to focus on. Health and wellness advocates are a possibility because anything related to health is always going to be something that people will spend money on. However, that's not really who I would choose to work with every day for the next 5 to 10 years. So that would be one that I wouldn't be interested in. Same with retirees, chefs and culinary professionals. If that's your thing, that could be a really good group. I could see them spending money on like your essential kitchen garden handbook or something like that. That could have some real possibilities. So I would keep that group in there. Preppers and homesteaders, when you think about preppers, they will spend money on digital products. They will spend money on pretty much anything that leads them to more prepping. The question then for me would be, do I want to work with them on a daily basis? I think I would probably say no to that group too. Researchers and students, community leaders, hobbyists. Who else here? Probably therapists and mental health professionals, crafters and DIYers. I think I would take those people out because I don't think that they would be the most likely to spend money on a digital product. Who I would choose from this list, I would go with either homeowners. And homeowners is it's a very broad thing here, but obviously it's homeowners who want to start a garden. So that one I would be okay with. I feel like because homeowners would be invested in having a garden for a long time and they have their roots down, I think I would be okay with that. But I think for the sake of this, I'm going to go with the chefs and culinary professionals just because I think that one's interesting. And I like my mind immediately went to that idea of a kitchen garden. So I think that's what I'm going to pick. I also like chefs and culinary professionals because it is very specific. I don't have to think about, okay, should I add anybody else in? Is there like someone ancillary that would also be included in that? It's like a nice little niche all to itself. So that's the one I'm going to go with. We're on the third question already, okay? So question 3 is going to be, what roadblocks frustrate chefs and culinary professionals when it comes to starting a garden? Now what we should start to get are some of those problems that they are facing that they can't get past in order to start their garden. And sometimes with this output, we get exactly what we want, and I can see like very quickly a digital product idea. Other times, you want to dive a little bit deeper into each of the problems. But what we want to do right now, if you are just getting started, if you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing and I want to just get started, what you want to do is figure out which one of these problems, these roadblocks that ChatGPT is giving us, could be a good ebook or a how-to guide for our chefs and culinary professionals. Let's see. Lack of knowledge, obviously, is very broad. I would take that question and break it down. I would say, can you be more specific about lack of knowledge for chefs? Can you give me like specific examples of what they are lacking knowledge in? And then I would probably have more examples of things that I could do some type of a how-to guide or an ebook on. But there's also limited space. Could be a really cool, if not just content, it could potentially be something that you can create a guide on how to grow all your fresh vegetables for the summer in X amount of square feet as a chef. So that could be a possibility. Pest and disease management, also something that would probably be incredibly frustrating and also is something that would be very important to chefs because they're feeding people this food. So they want to make sure they're doing that pest control very carefully and safely. So that's a possibility. And I think they would probably really like to hear that from somebody who is coming from a position of, hey, I help chefs with this. So that could be a really good one. Soil quality, that's probably a good one as well. That could possibly be like a free opt-in or something like that. Definitely content that you could create around that. How to scale or how to manage scaling, certainly. I think I'm going to go with, so I'm going to choose one of these. And I think lack of knowledge, let's see if we can narrow down lack of knowledge a little bit and see what happens. Can you give me more specifics on lack of knowledge? What are the top 5 things a chef should know when it comes to starting a garden? I love how ChatGPT never doesn't have an answer. It's always going to have an answer for me. So soil basics. This is good. This is very good. This could almost be like 5 things you need to know to get started with your kitchen garden as a chef. Soil basics, plant selection and care, pest and disease management. This all fits really nicely into an ebook too. Gardening techniques, planning and rotation. This is great. I wonder if they're going to have harvest timing. Yep. Okay. That already, I don't even have to ask for an outline. That's a great outline for an ebook, some type of ebook how-to guide that's going to get that person started. I almost want to just do this, except I really honestly don't know anything about it. Obviously, ChatGPT could tell me all about it. I am not someone who would ever teach you to just let ChatGPT write the whole book and you not have any sort of knowledge on the topic. But I do find this one really interesting. And I do, because it's chefs, I want to go back a little bit to why I chose chefs and what was the other part of that group? Chefs and culinary professionals. I picked that specifically because chefs and culinary professionals make money from making food. If they can say that their restaurant has fresh grown vegetables from out back, that depending on where it's located, that might be a little weird. But if you get that meaning, if you get my point, if you can be like, your salad, I grew your salad at the farm next door, in the packed lands next door. It is as fresh could be. And I think that chefs and culinary professionals would find the value, they would see the value in that. And so I think that because that is how they make money, this almost puts you into the make money niche. It's helping you to help those chefs and culinary professionals have a better restaurant, have something unique to talk about when it comes to their restaurant. And anytime that you can sort of lead back to that make money outcome, even just a little bit, like this is not you saying, you're not going to say, I'll teach you how to do a kitchen garden and you'll make $150,000 more a year at your restaurant. But you can see how the chef and the culinary professional would be like, that would be really like, that would set me apart from every other restaurant on the street. All of my stuff is fresh and I grow it myself with my own two hands. So that's why I landed on the chefs and culinary professionals. If you can do that, you will make your life a whole lot easier when it comes to marketing. But it's not 100% necessary either. But it is something that I definitely think about. Again, I think about, who do I want to work with every day for the next 5 to 10 years or until I'm done with this business? And who is going to be willing to spend money on a digital product? I can see how a chef or a culinary professional, that's a very hard word to say, culinary professional, would be willing to spend money on a digital product, because I really think that they would see the value in having something like a kitchen garden for their restaurant. So that's my 3 questions for you. And what I would say to you, no matter where you are on your digital product business journey, if you are just getting started and you are like, I have a couple things I'm interested in and I know I'm good at, but I don't really know which one I should go with. This took minutes to do, right? This didn't take long and I was blabbing through the whole thing. Put your ideas, put those different topics that you're interested in talking about through these 3 questions. You'll want to do like a different chat for each one and see what comes up. See, okay, is there a group of people under one of those topics that you are like, oh yeah, I would really love to work with them? Is there a group that you can say, oh yeah, I can totally see how those people would spend money on this? This isn't going to take you like forever, hours and hours of research to do. It's giving you an output very quickly so that you can start to make some decisions and then start moving forward. If you have already chosen your niche, and you've already maybe even created a digital product, but you are like, not really making any sales here, then it might be time to go back and run through these questions with your topic, your niche that you're talking about, and see, oh, wait, did I miss a group of people that are going to be more likely to spend money? Is that where my problem is with this digital product business that I have? Or is there a problem that I'm missing that is going to be the thing that people are actually going to be willing to spend money on? So regardless of where you are, right at the beginning, in the middle, towards the end, like, and you're like, wait, I really want to create something new. Say you've got your target audience, you nailed it. You have your digital products and they're selling and you're making money, but you're like, oh, I want to do something else. What's the next thing I can tackle for these people? That's when you can run through these questions and look at some of the different problems, those roadblocks that come up in question 3. There might be something that you're missing in there and you can start to create your next digital product on that. So these questions are, to me, this is an essential. Anybody that is doing any type of online business with a digital product that's information-based, probably any digital product, but information-based for certainly anything knowledge-based, how-to guides, courses, workshops, these questions are essential for your business. Go try them. Have fun. Leave me a comment down below and let me know how it went for you. And make sure you subscribe, like the video, and maybe share it with somebody if you want to. All right, that is it for me. I hope you enjoy these 3 questions and happy money making.